So I've already opened up the RSR CompServe database, and we are going to be working with forms, and we're going to be using Design View, which is a little more complex than using Layout View, which is what we've been doing in the past. The way Microsoft explains the views is Layout View is designed to be a little bit more intuitive. You can do a lot of your form modification in Layout View, but you cannot do all of the form modification there. Design View is much more detailed. There are actually 3 sections in a form. There's the detail section, which is primarily what we have been working with, and that's where you basically put all your field controls. And if you're going to add an image, that typically goes in the detail section. But there's also a header and footer section in a form, and whatever's in the header displays at the top of every page, and whatever is in the footer displays at the bottom of every page. Design View will allow us to add more controls, a greater variety of controls. We can even put page breaks into forms. We can resize the various sections of the form, so we can make the header, footer, or detail larger or smaller. And there are some properties that you can only change in Design View. So we're going to go ahead and get into Design View at this point. We're going to click on Create. And we're going to go right into Form Design. Okay, and what you see is a little grid. And right now we're just looking at the detail section. And in this detail section, that is where we would put bound controls, unbound controls, and calculated control objects. Bound controls are the ones that are connected to your fields that are in your tables. Unbound controls are for the extras that you put on your form, things like images. And calculated controls are basically calculations that you're doing with your fields. You will notice in the grid area that we have lines, at every 1-inch interval. And these are to help you place the controls. We also have this little square here that's to the left of the horizontal ruler at the top of the vertical. If you double click on this, it's just a real quick way of getting into the property sheet. And one of the reasons that people use Design View is because you have greater access to properties. So I'm going to click that and close it. What we're going to be doing is creating a little custom form here, and we are going to be displaying the form header. And to get to that form header, what we're going to do is insert a title. And the title typically goes into the form header section. So if we just click on title, you'll notice that the form header magically appears. And we're going to key in customer data maintenance form for the title that will display at the top of every page on our form. And we're just going to go ahead and press enter. And you will notice that kind of the background color is blue and the text is blue. And this is a result of the default theme, which is the Office theme. Okay? But as you know, the themes can be changed. And right now, the title is selected. We pressed enter, and you do see a heavy orange border around that. And all we're going to do is center the title within this. So let's go into Format and click on Center. Now, if you scroll down a little bit, you will notice that once we added our title, the form footer section displayed, even though we have nothing in there yet. We're going to resize this form footer. And to do that, we're just going to click down in here. And then if you position your mouse at the bottom, you are going to see a double-headed arrow. We're just going to drag it down to about a 1/2 inch. And we are going to put a couple of labels down here. Remember, anything that we put in the form footer is going to show at the bottom of every page. So we're going to go back into design, and we're going to be adding a couple labels. Okay, so labels are not bound. They're not connected to any type of field. So we're going to click on label here, and we're just going to drag a little box. And on the left side at the bottom of the form, we're going to key in revision number 1.0. And then I'm going to press enter. And I'm just going to grab this little move handle in the upper left corner, and we'll move that down just a little bit. And you can resize your box too. You don't want it quite that big, because we've got sizing handles on these controls, and then in the left corner, that is your move handle. Now we're going to add another one over here with your first and last name on it. I'm going to click on the label control again. And I'm just going to kind of click here, and I'm going to add my first and last name and press enter. Now I can either drag a box, or I can just click to add the labels. And I'm trying to align them about the same. Now to deselect our controls, we just click away. If we need to select them, we click on them. And they do have sizing handles. You can see they're in the middle of each side and on the corners. Upper left corner, that is your move handle. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and save. And we're going to call it custom maintenance, and we're abbreviating custom.